Hello all. In today's session, we'll discuss about Introduction to Quality. I am R.V. Bhaskar, Assistant Professor, Mechanical Engineering, K.K. Wag Institute of Engineering Education and Research, Nasik. So, moving further, what parts we'll be discussing? What is quality? History of quality, Deming's principle, Taguchi's contribution, total quality management, quality improvement tools, cost related to quality, benefits and drawbacks of quality. So, what is quality? There might be number of views of number of persons. So, a good example shown over here is a person might be satisfied just observing a horse. Another person may think that I can ride that horse, and third person may think that I can ride the horse and achieve the goal. So we can say from this picture that three persons has three different views, and based on that what is the goal of all three persons, we can say that that might be the quality. How, we will discuss further. Another example, a stay in a hotel. So if we had an experience of staying in a hotel, so based on that, if we have to rate that hotel, so whether it is a good quality hotel or not, so we can say, or we have to discuss few factors related to that. Or if we think about buying a product, or if we had bought any product, so whether it is of good quality, so based on what factors, so same factors we'll be discussing, and that factors will be called as dimensions of quality. So these dimensions of qualities were defined by Mr. Garvin in 1987. So what are these factors? First one, how well or will the product or a service do the intended job? That means performance factor. Second one, we can say that reliability, how reliable is the product, or how often does the product or a service fail. That means whether it sustain the given life or not. Next one, we can say that durability, how long does the product or a service last. That means how durable is the product. Another, serviceability, how easy to repair is the product, or how to solve the, or how easy is to solve that problem or a service. Another point, aesthetics, how it looks like. That means how does the product or a service look, smell, sound or feel like. Based on that we can say it is a good quality product. Either what features are available with that service or that product. Or next we can say that perceiving the good quality, what a reputation of that company, or what its products or services. Based on that, then conformance to standard. That means is the product or service made exactly as the design and standard are intended. That means how it was designed, so it conforms to that standard or not. So if we see, the following slide shows us the quality in different areas of society. So different area will have different definitions of qualities. This one, suppose air aviation, if we discuss, that is airlines. So what will be the services? On time, comfortable, low cost services will be the factors which will deal with the quality. Suppose if we deal with the healthcare, over there again, correctness in the diagnosis with the minimum waiting time and lower cost and security. Comfortability is the secondary part in healthcare. Whereas food services, good product, that means how fast delivery it is, and so comfortable is the secondary part over there. Next one, postal services, faster delivery, and that academics, which is related to us, that is proper preparation for future on time knowledge delivery and all that. Next one, consumer products, insurance, military, and many more examples. So quality is defined by number of pioneers or engineers of quality, according to their experience. So according to British Defence Industries Quality Assurance Panel, they has defined that conformance to specification is nothing but quality. According to Phyllis Crosby, he says that conformance to requirements is the good quality or quality. According to Edward Deming, Mr. Deming, who has given the principles, he says that a predictable degree of uniformity and dependability at low cost and suited to the market is nothing but a good quality. Or either other definitions by Mr. Modibois, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Fagenbaum, there are a number of definitions, that is total composite product service characteristics or meeting the requirements might be the good quality. So there are number of definitions of qualities based on the experience. Again, IEEE may say that specified requirements and customer or user needs to the expectations, or either the totality of features is given by ISO or ASQs, or degree to which a set of inherent characteristics are fulfilled. So following were the definitions related to the persons. Now based on the experience, transcendent definition, we can say that excellence might be a good quality, or based on the product base, suppose quantities of products attributes, so how many quantities the product achieves. Or we can say that user base, based on the fitness for intended purpose or use, or either we can say that meeting or exceeding the user's expectations might be the good quality. Or either value based, that means it will be related to cost versus the price, that means quality versus the cost or price. Manufacturing based definition, so manufacturing industries will have good quality product if and only if they conforms to the design specifications. So if we deal with more of the quality, so realistic but demanding standards will be a quality. That means again getting the right first time. That means it costs less to prevent a problem than it does to correct it. Very good saying. So influences the relationship with the customers. So obviously not a good quality product will influence the relationship of an industry with the customers. It will lag in the good quality. Again, the complaints and the feel and look. Again, William Cooper Potter says that the first job we have is to turn out a quality merchandise. Then the consumer will buy and keep on buying. Obviously, if we produce it efficiently and economically, we will earn a profit. So good quality finally will produce efficient and economical, and finally will get the profit. So how quality has been emerged? So in ancient days, Greece, skilled craftsmanships were there. In 18th century, industrial revolution was there. Again, R.A. Fisher, one of the quality pioneer, has derived or has discussed about the cause and effect relationship. I think this part will be discussing in detail in further slides. Again, SQC was discussed by Mr. W. A. Sheward. That means our diagrams related to statistical quality tools. Again, control charts and all these factors were derived by Mr. Deming, Juran, Mr. Sheward. So these were the steps and the process, we can say. After World War II, again quality principles were defined. Again in Japan, Edward Deming has provided. Then again Taguchi, one pioneer, he has produced DOE, that is design of experiments. And likewise Mr. Ishikawa, who has developed the Ishikawa fishbone diagram, we can say. Again quality awareness, and then moving further the management tools. So to sum up will all the history, what we can remember from this earlier two slides, that means statistical quality control leads to quality assurance, and based on quality assurance the quality management can be finalized. That means now current and future challenges to keep progress in quality management. Final term. Coming to the principles of quality, Dr. Edward Deming, again a pioneer who has written a book of Out of the Crisis. We can read that very good book related to quality definitions and management tools he has discussed. But related to our syllabus, we require few 14 principles. Before that, Deming's chain reaction will discuss. That means this path shows the Deming's chain reaction. Obviously, to get profit or a good or an investment part, improve the quality, improve the productivity, decrease the cost, increase the market, stay in business, provide more jobs, and get profit. This is the following steps which are provided by Mr. Deming on his experience, which has been provided in this book also. So this is how we can get a good profit with a good quality product. We have to follow the following steps. Next one, again he has developed 14 principles. Now in a single session it will not be possible to continue in detail part, but we'll be discussing the 14 principles in general. So first part is create constancy of purpose. That means long term planning we have to do. Obviously adopt a new philosophy. That means as the time passes, change with that. That means change with time. Next one, cease dependence on inspection for quality. Obviously mass inspection is unreliable, costly, and ineffective, so dependence we have to stop. Next one, end proactive avoiding of business based on price alone. That means only price if we focus will not produce the good quality. Next thing, improve every process constantly and forever. That means obviously we require teamwork for that. Next one, institute training will require, again adopt and institute leadership, drive out the fear from the workers, break the barriers between the staff and the areas, eliminate the slogans, exhortations, and targets, eliminate numerical quotas, remove barriers from the rob of pride workmanship. That means obviously workmanship pride may be robbed. Then institute programs for education and self improvement, put everybody in the company to work for this transformation. Obviously these 14 points we have to remember for getting a good quality products. We'll be discussing in few sessions further what all these 14 principles in detail. Now quality does not occur by an accident. Obviously it doesn't occur with an accident. So what does the customer actually want? So for that, any industry or manufacturer has to identify, understand, and agree with the customer requirements. With that, how you going to meet those requirements? So for achieving that we have to plan. That means planning is required. So this will be the steps to get the good quality. So for that, Deming has provided one cycle we call as PDCA cycle or PDSA cycle. So for achieving this, how is this cycle? First we have to aim. What we have to aim? What we are trying to accomplish. Second thing, we have to measure. What to measure? How will we know that a change is an improvement? So for that we have to measure. Next thing is to select the change or selecting the change. What change can we make that will result in a improvement? So for that purpose we have to follow a cycle called as PDCA cycle. That means first we have to planning, we have to do the things accordingly, that means related to measure, we have to check it, that means related to check selecting, and then accordingly we have to act. So again, doing the things will also be similar to planning, doing, checking, and acting, that is PDCA. Next pioneer of quality is nothing but Mr. N.H. Taguchi. In 1980s, he has produced design of experiment related or to achieve a good quality. In that, he has derived few factors: input parameters and output parameters. That is designing. According to him, how we can achieve quality is design the product or process so that it is robust and according to the environmental conditions. Next one, designing and developing the product so that minimum component variations are there and minimizing variations around a target value. So by robust we mean that the product or a process performs consistently on a target and is relatively insensitive to factors that are difficult to control. So from this slide, what you have to remember, Mr. Taguchi has provided his contribution by producing experimental design. Many softwares are based on Taguchi's experience. He has provided three stages. First one, system design. The second one, parameter design. Third one is tolerance design. We have to follow these three factors to achieve design of experiments. What does he recommend? Statistical experiments, same thing I told you, which are used for quality improvement using or considering specific parameter or tolerance. So key components: reduce the variability around the target nominal value. Next quality engineer or pioneer is Mr. Juran, Joseph Juran we call him. He has produced a trilogy, that is quality trilogy. Trilogy in the sense three factors he has considered for improving the or getting the good quality. First one is planning, controlling and improving. That means quality planning is your first step, quality control is your second step, and quality improvement will be the third step according to Mr. Juran. So what is quality planning, or what is the role of quality planning, is to design a process that will be able to meet the established goal. Second thing, quality control means to operate when necessary the correct or the correctness in the process so that it performs the optimal effectiveness. Next one is quality improvement, which will say that to devise ways to take the process or unprecedented levels of performance. Obviously we have to go for improvement step. So all these steps, three steps, is shown by a diagram called as Juran's trilogy diagram. So what does it says that first we have to plan. Planning stage is this one. That means you have to design the things according to our customer requirements, and then remaining two steps, that is controlling and achieving, that is improvement. We will say that if we plot a diagram based on time versus operations, we say that as the time passes, initially all operations will have some of the errors in the process, but one step will reach as the time passes, there will be increase in the errors, and again by providing our second step of quality improvement, there will be reduction in the errors and we'll get another quality zone. So we get three zones. First stage we can say that this part is nothing but quality planning. When we plan a good quality, then also we'll get some of the errors, we call it as periodic spike. But after getting an error, it will go on summing up, that is we have to bear for cost of poor quality, which will be said as a chronic waste, and it will increase in such a way that it will provide a spike, high rise, and after getting that high rise we have to go for our next step, that is improvement stage. And after providing improvement stage, the chronic waste will reduce and we'll get the new control zone, obviously the reduced errors. So this diagram says that first step planning, second step controlling, and after we provide controlling, improvement is to be followed, and then only we'll get the next step. Next, again few tools are there, that is 7 quality tools. First one is the cause and effect diagram, second one flow chart, check sheets, histogram, Pareto chart, control charts, and scatter diagrams. So all these 7 tools we have to discuss in our upcoming sessions. So thank you for this session. Thanks all.